Hey guys, I hope y'all are having a wonderful day today. So we're going to be doing another Shop My Stash video. I did one of these about a month ago. Y'all really liked it. I really liked it, and y'all wanted to see more of it. So I think I'm going to be making this a regular thing because I'm trying to get my fan to blow right on me because I'm really hot right now. I have a lot of makeup that's just sitting around that I'm not able to use on a regular basis. So we're going to be tapping into some of that makeup today. So you'll be able to tell by the title that we're going to be featuring the new ABH Primrose palette. So that's obviously what I have on my eyes for today, but I will walk you through this process as well as everything else that I'm wearing today. And it's going to be a mix of some stuff that is new to me plus some stuff that I haven't picked up in a while. So I'm just, shopping my stash. So there is one little part of the video where you might see like a weird cut because I was having like a sneezing attack, but if I have to, I will put up a little blurb on the screen so that you'll understand what's going on, because I have a feeling that I'm not going to be able to like cleanly edit that out. So I apologize in advance for that. But before we get into the look for today, if you're here for the first time, hello and welcome, and thank you so much for stopping by. On this channel we do a bunch of makeup videos catering to the 40 and over crowd, but of course everyone is welcome here. So please make sure you subscribe while you're here today. I would really appreciate your support, and of course I would love to have you join the channel. Okay y'all, let's jump right into it. Okay, my brows are done, and I meant to try the Benefit Brow Pomade today, but I forgot. I didn't think about it until I was like pretty much done my first brow. So I'm gonna save this for my next Shop My Stash. I went in with my ABH Brow Powder Duo, which is what I normally use. I'm just so used to doing my brows off camera, so I just did it not thinking about it. So I'm gonna go right into the eyeshadow. So let me first start off with priming the lid. I'm gonna be using my regular NARS concealer, and I'm starting to run really low on this. I think I have a few more uses out of it, but I really like this as an eye primer. But when I run out of this, I'm not going to repurchase it because I also still have a lot of my MAC paint pot, which I really like as a primer, and I also have the e.l.f. putty eye primer, and it's going to take me a really long time to use those two up, but I think I'm gonna go back to those two when I finally run out of this stuff. Okay, so for the eyeshadow, we're gonna be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Primrose palette. This is what it looks like. So I bought this the day that it launched. I was so excited about it, and I was going to do like a dedicated 2 looks 1 palette video with this one, but when I got it in the mail, I just wasn't as excited about it as I thought I was going to be. So it's just been kind of sitting since I got it. So I did already swatch a couple of these colors because I was going to do one of my eyes off camera like I usually do, but I'm going to do it on camera today. So this one here, this shade is called Peony. This one in the middle is called Fire Opal, and that other one is called Sparkling Amber. So I usually go for like cooler tones, but I'm thinking maybe I'll do something warmer today just because, just to do something a little different. And I'm thinking I'm gonna stick with maybe these 2 shades for my lid just because those are colors that I don't normally use. So just, doing something a little different today. So I think I'm going to start off with that shade Sparkling Amber. Actually, I'm going to start off with Fire Opal, I feel like. And let's try this on the majority of our lid for today. Oh, this is a really pretty, like, strong, like, coppery shade. And definitely a color that I typically wouldn't use. But I'm going to put this kind of like on the middle of the lid. Ooh, that is really pretty though. Really nice. That's really pretty. So I kind of already had a lipstick picked out for today, but I have a feeling I'm going to have to change up my lipstick, particularly because of this shade. So I think now I'm going to go in with Sparkling Amber, and I'm going to put that one toward the middle, what is this called? The center, the inner part of my eye is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, these are very warm. I feel like these colors could be like warm fall colors or warm summer colors, but they're definitely very warm. But with this palette, you can do like some cooler tone looks if that's what you prefer. One thing I like about ABH shadows is that they tend to be really nice and pigmented, but this formula does feel a little bit different than the other ABH palettes in that they're not quite as powdery, which I also really like, because I think all of the other palettes that I have, they tend to get kind of messy because they're so powdery. And I'm gonna go in with this shade next. This is called Rouge, and I'm gonna put that on the outer part of the lid as well as along my lower lash line. Ooh, this is so pretty. I'm really liking this so far. I think my whole look might end up being really like monochromatic today, but that's fine because I really like how this is like coming together. So I'm picking up more of that shadow on another brush, and I'm just gonna sweep this all over my lower lash line. I think I'm gonna try picking up the shade Deep Berry, and this particular color, it doesn't really go with the rest of the colors on the lid, but I think I'm gonna pick up just a little bit of this and just plop it like right on the outer corner right here, just to deepen it out even further, just to give it like a little bit more dimension right on the very like outer corner. That may not even be all that noticeable to you, but it's just making it just a little bit deeper in color. Now I am gonna eventually go back on the lid and just kind of blend everything out, but before I do that, I'm gonna take this shade here. This is called Honey, and I'm gonna use that just to buff everything out. I take that back. Some of these matte shades, they are kind of powdery like the other ABH palettes. I would say not as bad though, but they are kind of powdery. The shimmer ones don't seem to be as powdery though. I'm just blending out this lower lash line just a little bit more. And now I'm gonna pick up just a little bit more of this shade here, the Honey shade. I'm gonna pick up a little bit more of that and really like tap off the excess, and I'm just gonna use that to kind of go right in between all of the colors that I have on my lid to help them kind of transition one into the other. I think the two shimmery shades that I have on the lid though, they are pretty much like transitioning into one another on their own really well because the colors go together really well. So I'm going to concentrate this more so on the matte shades and just make sure that those are really blended in. Okay, so what are we thinking so far about the eyes? I really like it so far. We'll go back and finish up a little bit later on. In my last video, I forgot to do an inner corner highlight, so hopefully I won't forget to do that this time. But I'm really liking this eye look so far. Very out of my norm, but I really like it so far. So before we move on to the face, I am going to go ahead and put on my eyeliner and mascara now. So I'm going to be trying is this from Uoma Beauty? Yeah, this is from Uoma Beauty. This is their Cleopatra ink. I think it's just called the Cleopatra ink liquid eyeliner rather. And I believe I got this from Ipsy Glam Bag Plus. And then I'm going to be trying the It Cosmetics Hello Lashes mascara. So I showed y'all this in my birthday haul video. This is a tubing mascara, so I definitely want to try this out. So I'm going to do these off camera like I always do, and then we'll come back and I'll tell you what I think about these two. So this eyeliner is okay. It's like a standard black eyeliner, but it has a felt tip to it, and it's okay, but I prefer like the brush tips, so I don't think that this is one that I would reach for on a regular basis, but it's fine. It is nice and black, but nothing special about it. This mascara, I'm not really feeling it. I will try it a couple more times just to really get a feel for it, but I had to apply it like maybe 4 times to get it to look like this, and I just feel like I had to play around with it too much. So my favorite mascara right now is this ColourPop Act Natural Mascara, and I feel like just one coat of this makes your lashes look really, really nice, and then it makes it look even longer, even fuller when you go on with the second coat. And same thing with this Essence mascara, but right now my favorite is the ColourPop one. This one I just feel like I had to play with it too much. I think it's a little bit on the clumpy side, and I think tubing mascaras are supposed to make your lashes look like extra long. I just feel like the ColourPop one looks pretty much the same in terms of length, but I think the ColourPop one does a better job of like fanning out your lashes and making them look just a bit more like put together. So not really feeling this one, but I will use it a couple more times just to like really get a feel for how I like it, but didn't really care for it today. So let's move on to the face. So when I'm doing these types of videos and I'm going to be testing out a lot of new face products, I would prefer to go in with a foundation that I'm very used to and one that I know works for me, because I don't want to mess around and try out a new foundation and then that's not working, because that might alter the performance of everything else that I'm putting on top of the foundation. So I'm going to go in with one that I'm very used to, but because I'm shopping my stash, I'm going to go in with one that I haven't used in a while. So for today I'm going to be using the LYS Triple Fix Serum Foundation. I'm just going to shake it up because it's been a minute since I've used this, and I am in the shade DP5. I just had like a sneeze attack and I feel like you can hear it in my voice. I feel like I sound really nasally, so if you can hear it, that's why. So I'm going to be just blending this out with my sponge. And you will notice that this foundation is going to be just a little bit too dark for me. I can get away with this, but it would be better if it was just a tad bit lighter. But this will actually work out for today because I am going to be trying out a new concealer. And my concealer might be a little too light for me. So hopefully they will offset each other. So I think y'all can see like side by side that the foundation is just a little bit darker than my skin tone, but not a big deal. And just in case y'all haven't tried this foundation yet, it's actually one of my favorites. And I think this just won an Allure like Best of Beauty award too. This is a really nice foundation. And the brand LYS, they are a black owned clean beauty brand. So if you haven't tried it out yet, check them out. Okay, so I feel like I look really nice and tanned right now, but let's move on to the concealer and let's try to like offset some things. So I'm going to be trying the Patrick Star One Size. This is called Turn Up the Base Buttersilk Concealer. So I got two shades because I feel like I'm going to have to mix. So I got this shade Medium Dark 2 and Medium Dark 3. So let's do just a couple of hand swatches here, but I feel like y'all can see in the tube that Medium Dark 2 is like pretty light, but I got this one, oh yeah, that's really light. This one has a rosy undertone to it. Medium Dark 3 has a golden undertone to it. So the lighter one is Medium Dark 2, the other one is Medium Dark 3. I feel like perhaps I should just start off with a Medium Dark 3 and then add in the lighter one if I think I need to. I was going to do the opposite of that and start off with the lighter one, but the light one looks like really light. So I'm going to be using Medium Dark 3. I think I'm going to start on a regular basis. I'm going to start using my Kevyn Aucoin concealer. Underneath my concealer, use the Kevyn Aucoin one as like a color corrector, because I did that in my last video and I really liked it. But for today I didn't do that because I want to try this concealer out on its own. So I like the way that that blended out on my chin and my forehead. Yeah, this blends out really nicely. I feel like Medium Dark 3 is going to be fine on its own for this one. I don't think this one is as thick and it's not giving me as much coverage as the Anastasia Beverly Hills concealer. That's the one that I've been using the most lately because that's like my newest concealer until this one. So just comparing those two, I feel like the ABH concealer gives me a little more coverage. I think I prefer the ABH concealer over this one. I don't know. I got to use this a couple more times too. But this is nice though. It blends out really nicely. I just don't think it has as much coverage as some of the other concealers that I use. But it is really nice. Like, it blended out like really, really easily. It looks nice though. What do you guys think? I do have to use it like a couple more times to like really see how I feel about it. Now the color of it now, just in case you're kind of new here, I usually wear cool toned complexion products. This one has a warm golden undertone, so if I can't find something that's a cool tone, I go with golden. This one is pulling like a little bit on the yellow side. Like, I can use it, but the ABH concealer, my Too Faced, and my Estee Lauder concealer, all of those have like a much better shade match for me. But this one isn't bad, but I can tell it's looking a bit like yellow on my skin tone. Maybe it's also this eyeshadow too, because the eyeshadow is like really nice and warm, but you know, it's okay, but I do have to use it a couple more times. And I don't think I'm going to get any use out of the lighter one. I think this one, if I use it again, I'm just going to stick with medium dark 3. Okay, so now let's move on to, I'm going to set my under eye really quickly. So I much rather prefer using a pressed powder to set my face. But I'm going to go in with a loose powder today for my under eye. This is the Pretty Vulgar Setting Powder. This used to be my absolute favorite under eye setting powder until I started using pressed powders. But I'm using this today because you probably will see me use loose powders more often, just because I do prefer a pressed powder, but I have so many loose powders that are just sitting around now, and I want to try to use them up. So I definitely would prefer pressed powder, but I do have a good amount of loose powders that are really nice too. So before I set the rest of my face, I'm going to do my blush and bronzer. So for blush, we're going to tap back into this ABH palette because these two shades over here are meant to be blushes. So I'm definitely going to go in with this darker shade here. And this looks like a really nice, ooh, this one, the blush is like really powdery. It just got all over the place. So yeah, just be careful with that. But that's how much I picked up. So I'm thinking this is gonna be like really pigmented on my face. But the color of it looks really promising. It looks like a typical color that I would use in a blush. Yeah, that's really nice. Especially for like this time of year, for people who prefer like darker tone blushes for like the fall. I think this is really nice. I also prefer to offset my blush with my eyeshadow. So if I'm doing like a warmer toned eyeshadow look like I have today, I would typically go in with a cooler toned blush, and then vice versa. I just always end up using warmer tone blushes because 9 times out of 10 I have cool tone eyeshadows on, but I really wanted to try this blush today. So I think my whole look is going to end up being like a monochrome look, which is fine. That's a really pretty blush color. Like, this is something that I would definitely use again. It's just really powdery. So let me just show you guys like all of the, can you guys see like all of that kickback that I got? It is like really kind of messy. That's the only thing, but the color of it is really nice. Now for my bronzer, I have tried this before, but I tried it in a different shade, and I don't remember the name of the shade that I got before, but this is one of the LYS bronzers. This one is in the shade Courage, which is the tan shade. So I bought the next darkest shade when these first came out, and I thought it was okay, but it was just a little bit too dark for my liking. So I lucked out and got this one in BoxyCharms. I was really excited about that, and we were able to pick our color, so I picked the shade tan. So I have tried this formula before, but today I'm going to be trying this shade for the first time. And I feel like it's not really showing up. Now remember, my my foundation is a little bit darker than usual. Okay, now I can kind of see the bronzer, but I feel like I don't like it. I feel like I like that other shade better. I feel like this one looks too muddy on my skin tone. What do y'all think? I'm gonna have to go in and kind of like, I don't know. Well, I do still have to set my face, and my powder might lighten things up a little bit, so we'll see. I have to try this shade of bronzer again with another foundation that I feel like it's just a little bit lighter on my skin. Because I'm not really, it looks okay, I don't know. I just feel like I prefer that darker shade, even though I thought it was too dark. I'm switching over to my smaller brush so I could do my nose. Now I'm just softening that bronzer back out. Does anybody else do this? I know I've seen a couple other people on YouTube do this, but do y'all apply bronzer like this on your nose, or contour? Do you put it on and then soften it back out? Because I feel like it's extra work, but that's like the only way I can get it to look like not super harsh on my nose. So let me know. Let me know what y'all do with that situation. Okay, for my setting powder for my entire face, I'm going in with the Kosas Pillowy. No, this is called the Kosas Cloud Set Powder, and the shade is called Pillowy. So that's what this looks like. It looks a little light, but it ends up being kind of transparent on my face. So I'm going to start off by just patting this around my blush and bronzer. This isn't a new product. I've used this before. I just haven't used it in a very long time. And now I'm going to take what's left on the brush and then pat it right over the bronzer and just a little bit over the blush. I really don't need extra powder on top of the bronzer and blush because those are two powder products anyway. So, and let's go back into the ABH palette one more time. I'm going to go in with this shade here. It's called Rose Water. I'm going to use that for my inner corner highlight and also put a little bit of it on my brow bone. That's really pretty too. It does look a little bit different on my eyes than it does in the pan. It looks a bit more of like a rose gold shade. And I was expecting more of like a, I guess like a champagne gold, but it is called Rose Water, so I guess the color of it is like in the name, but that's really pretty. All right, I'm gonna skip setting spray today. I usually don't use setting spray when the weather is colder because I feel like the cold weather just kind of like sets my face on its own. So I'm gonna skip setting spray today and we're gonna finish everything off with the lips. I'm really tempted to try the lipstick that I was planning on using, and then when I started putting my eyeshadow on, I started thinking I'm gonna have to go in with another, maybe like more of like a nude lip, but I'm gonna try this lipstick first and see how I like it. If I feel like it's too much, I'll go in and change it. So I'm gonna be using the NYX Liquid Suede Cream Lipstick. This is in the shade Vintage. This used to be like one of my go-to fall lipsticks, and I usually don't do like liquid like cream lipsticks or liquid matte lipsticks, but I really like this one. This one isn't matte though. It doesn't have a matte finish. It's just like a cream lipstick in liquid form, and I haven't used this thing in like forever. So I'm gonna start off with this. If I feel like it's just too much, I will go in and change it to a nude lip. I think we're gonna be good with this one. This actually goes, I thought that this was more red. That's how I remember it, but it goes really well with the eyeshadow, like the colors that I have on the outer corner. So I think we'll be good with this one. Okay guys, here is my finished look, and I like it. I like this lipstick with the eyeshadow. I think it came out really nice. I never do like looks like this, but this is like, I think it's really pretty. Let me know what y'all think. So let me know what y'all think about any of the products that I used today, especially this. Do you have this, or are you thinking about getting it? If you're thinking about getting it, I would definitely try it out. I really enjoy playing around with it. It is kind of messy, but if you already have some ABH palettes, you're going to be used to that. But said, the colors that I used today I thought were really, really nice. So I can't wait to play around with this again and use some of like these purple tone colors. But let me know what y'all think about any of the products that I used today. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel before you head out, and I'll see y'all back here for my next one. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.